Hey guys, Gaston with Rough Country. Today we're going to be talking about leveling your truck. Specifically, bringing the front suspension up to match the height of the rear suspension on your truck. There are a couple of reasons you may want to level your truck. First and foremost is looks. The nose down look from the factory is just not really appealing. Second, it allows you to run a slightly larger tire. Now I'm going to focus on a coil-over strut design, which is the most common type of suspension on the major manufacturers' half-ton trucks. We've got several options on leveling those trucks. We'll start out with the base, which is going to be a spacer style. That is the most economical way to level your truck. Depending on the specific brand, it will either be a composite spacer, aluminum, steel, or any combination of the three. Some simply bolt onto the top of the strut, while others do use a preload spacer that's going to require you to have a strut compressor and disassemble the strut. Now these are all options we offer for the F-150. Here you can see we've got our composite strut spacer, and I've got it mounted to a factory strut here, ready to go back in the truck. Again, this is the most economical of the options, but it is only as good as your factory strut. So if it's time to replace your factory strut, you may want to choose one of our better options. Speaking of better options, we've got our N3 fully loaded, ready to go out of the box to install strut. It comes valved specifically for your truck with a spring rate for your truck. And in that valving and spring rate, we take into account that you're probably going to use a larger, heavier tire. What that's going to do is give you a ride as good or better than factory. And installation of any of these options is essentially the same as replacing your factory strut. So that's good. Let's check out better. It's our M1 monotube strut. Again, fully loaded, ready to install right out of the box. A couple of advantages the M1 has over the N3 is it is a monotube design. That means that the oil and the gas is always separated in the cylinder to reduce any chance of cavitation to make the smoothest ride possible. This is also a height adjustable strut. We've got a snap ring that locates the spring perch, and you can adjust that to tune in the exact height you want on the vehicle. Every vehicle is a little different, so this will make sure that you get it dialed in perfectly. Add to that the great looks of the zinc-plated steel body, and that makes this a winner in my book. That's better. Let's check out best. That's going to be our Vertex Reservoir, fully adjustable, both height and dampening coil-over strut. This is going to allow you to have total control over your front suspension, both in height adjustment with a spanner and in dampening with a simple click of this knob. You can go from 1 to 8, 1 being the softest, 8 being the firmest, to dial it in completely. Not only that, but billet aluminum ends, the reservoir mount, and the braided steel line add a bit of jewelry to your wheel well with this premium option. The installation is pretty straightforward on this F-150. First, we'll need to separate the upper control arm from the knuckle, as well as the sway bar link. We'll need to take the tie rod off the knuckle. We'll need to unbolt the axle from the knuckle through the hub. On this Ford, we'll also need to unbolt the four-wheel drive actuator. Then there are various brake lines and ABS lines we'll need to make sure are out of the way. After that, we'll be able to drop the lower control arm, unbolt the lower and upper mounts on the strut, and bolt in our M1. After that, we'll reassemble, and the truck will be level, looking great, and ready to go. All right, we've removed our factory strut. We've replaced it with our M1 preloaded leveling strut. We've reconnected our control arm to the knuckle, the brake line bracket, the sway bar bracket. We've reinstalled our tie rod as well as our axle and our caliper. Now we just need to go through and make sure everything's tightened and torqued to spec, and that's going to complete this install. We'll reinstall the tires and get it sitting on the ground, and we'll be done. And that's all it takes to level your truck with one of our preloaded struts. It really is that simple. Minimum effort, maximum results. But no matter which option you choose is right for you, we've got it for you today. Check it out at roughcountry.com.